This all started off when my colleague in New York, at Buzzfeed News in New York, began analysing betting data on about 26,000 tennis matches dating back 7 years. He was just really interested to see the kind of patterns that emerged on the gambling markets, and he noticed a pattern where there were particular players where it kind of regularly occurred that very lopsided heavy betting was actually shifting the odds dramatically on their matches, and that's a classic warning sign for match fixing. And when we realised how substantial that trend was, we really started to dig into the whole issue of match fixing in tennis more broadly. What we found when we started to dig into this was that actually the tennis authorities have for years been sitting on a huge amount of evidence of really quite widespread match fixing across the breadth and depth of men's tennis. And back in 2008, they were warned by a team of investigators that they had hired to get to the bottom of a highly notorious match between two players, Nikolai Davydenko and Vasayo Aguelo in Poland, and those investigators had uncovered some really disturbing evidence about 28 players who they thought might be connected to gambling syndicates in Italy and Sicily in particular, and in Russia, who they thought were orchestrating really widespread corruption across the game. And they handed over 5 ring binders full of evidence to World Tennis and asked them to investigate fully, and expected those players to be pulled into disciplinary hearings. And the World Tennis authorities have admitted to us that they did absolutely nothing to investigate any of those players. Since 2008, we've got lists, 9 fixing lists of suspected players that have been sent into the Tennis Integrity Unit at Wimbledon. And we can see the same 16 names appearing time and time again on those lists. A core group of players, all of whom have ranked in the top 50, and half of whom are actually about to begin playing at the Australian Open on Monday. We can see that these guys are just coming up again and again, and many of them were flagged back in 2008 by the investigators hired by the Association of Tennis Professionals, and yet they're all still playing. But there's widespread concern among the bookmakers, the gambling industry, and foreign police forces too, who are dealing with the Tennis Integrity Unit, who are just saying they're ignoring us and they're not doing enough to get to the bottom of really disturbing evidence.